Hello students, today we are going to study about the chapter 1, which is measurements and the experimentations. In this chapter of the physics, actually it is a basic fundamental chapter which is essential for studying the physics in further classes. Okay, so basically we are going to study about what is a physical quantity, what do we mean by a unit, different types of unit systems and different types of measuring methods. Fine. So let's focus on the first exercise of this chapter, that is 1A, and actually I am going to combine the two video lectures together to complete this exercise. It is a little bit long chapter, and one more thing is there that you need to pay attention on the fundamental knowledge of different physical quantities, which would be beneficial for further study in physics. Okay, so let's start from very basic terms, and those basic terms are: what do you mean by a physical quantity, and as well as what do you mean by a unit of a physical quantity. Unit of a physical quantity. First, let's try to define these two points. Okay, so let's start from a physical quantity. What do you mean by a physical quantity? So basically, when we talk about a physical quantity, actually we are talking about some attributes, some features, some properties of a body through which we can compare that body with other bodies. Like if in the classroom I have given you an example that if we want to compare two students, suppose. Okay, so I was just asking at that time that what is the basic difference between these two students. So you are focusing on their attributes, on their properties, that okay sir, this student is taller than the another one. Okay, this student is heavier than the second one. So you are focusing on some specific properties, and you are using those properties to compare two objects or two persons. Second thing, those properties are physically measurable, means you can measure the quantity of that physical property. Okay, that's why we call it physical. So like height, like weight, like mass, like time, like distance. So these are physical quantities, means those properties or those physical properties, characteristics which can be measured and used to compare two or more objects with each other. Such properties are called physical quantities. So we are able to define a physical quantity, an attribute or a property which is used to compare an object with the other objects. And that property is physically measurable. You can measure it physically. Physically measurable. Okay. So that thing is called a physical quantity. So like length is a physical quantity, distance is a physical quantity. These are just some examples. Length, mass, time, distance, or area is also a physical quantity. Fine. So these are different physical quantities. Now the second term, let's discuss about the second point, that is unit of a physical quantity. What do you mean by a unit of a physical quantity? See, whenever we want to measure something, we need to create a criteria, a parameter to measure. For an example, suppose we don't know about the scale, and I ask to measure the length of a table or the length of the floor in a particular direction, or length of the pitch, in which we usually measure in our daily life when we play cricket. So we don't usually students, they don't have, or the children, they don't have we can say scale to measure the length of a pitch. So what do they usually do? So they usually use their steps, a particular number of steps for to measure the length of the pitch. In the same way, if I ask to measure the length of smallest finger and the thumb. The gap you call it as a simple wording, and usual language we call it bilan. Okay, so ek bilan, do bilan, in that way we measure the length. Fine. So this is the way, this is the parameter, this is some kind of a we can say criteria under which we are measuring a physical quantity. So that parameter is called a unit. So obviously yes, bilan is a local unit of measuring small lengths, and steps to measure the long lengths. Okay, larger lengths we can measure in terms of steps, 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 23 steps for a pitch, like this. So basically what do you mean by a unit? So a unit is a parameter, is a condition, is a we can say criteria under which a physical quantity is being measured. Like you measure length in terms of meter, you measure length in terms of centimeter, inches. Okay, you measure mass in terms of kilograms, grams. Okay, so a unit of a physical quantity is a criteria or parameter. It is a parameter under which, or you can say condition even, parameter or condition under which a physical quantity is being measured. A physical quantity is being measured. Fine. So this is basically a unit of a physical quantity. For an example, the unit of length is meter. For an example, the unit of time is second, minute, hours. This and that way. Now the question arises here. We know about different types of physical quantities. Is there any categorization of the physical quantities? Then yes, there is a categorization of physical quantities. You know why? Because if I say, let me demonstrate it with an example, so you will get it in a very better way. And you can pause the video if you want to copy the content. So let's take an example. If I talk about few physical quantities like velocity or speed, let's talk about speed. Speed, the general formula is speed, we know it very well. Distance upon time. So speed is a physical quantity which is actually dependent of two different physical quantities, distance and time. I should write it. Speed is a dependent of distance and time. So if I say speed is S, or if I represent speed by V, distance by D and T. So V is dependent of D and T, right? Let's focus on this thing. Another formula. If I talk about acceleration, in the next chapter you will get to know that what do you mean by acceleration. So I am just telling you the generalized formula. Acceleration is change in speed upon time. Okay, so speed is actually dependent of distance and time, and acceleration is dependent of speed. So ultimately acceleration A is also dependent of distance or displacement and time. Displacement we call it, but right now we are not going in depth with this thing. In the same way, force F is mass into acceleration. Force can be measured in terms of mass into acceleration. Mass, if we represent it by m, acceleration is being represented by a. So ultimately, force is dependent on mass and acceleration was dependent on displacement and time. So force is also dependent of mass, displacement and time. So you can see that mass, displacement and time, every physics formula or these given three examples are dependent on these three physical quantities usually. This is the way and this is the base of categorization. There are three categories of physical quantities. Fundamental physical quantities which are independent of any other physical quantity. Those physical quantities, they do not actually depend on each other. Such type of physical quantities are called fundamental physical quantities, like mass, length and time. Distance is kind of length. Long lengths can be measured in terms of distance. So mass, length and time, these three are fundamental physical quantities because they are independent of each other and they are independent of any other physical quantity. But if I talk about velocity, acceleration and force, these are derived physical quantities. You know why? Derived means these physical quantities can be extracted from other physical quantities, or we can say from the fundamental physical quantities. So that's why these physical quantities are called derived physical quantities, because they are dependent on fundamental physical quantities. These two are basic major categorization, but we have a third type of category also. Okay. Sorry for that noise. Now we have two types of major categorization. One is fundamental physical quantity and the second is derived physical quantities. There is another category also, that is supplementary physical quantity. So I will tell you about that type of category also. Let's try to focus on these two. First, we need to understand fundamental physical quantities. Fundamental physical quantities. So we have total 7 fundamental physical quantities lying in the world of physics. Okay, these 7 physical quantities they actually related to mechanical physics, electronics, in the same way optics, that means study of light and different aspects of physics also. So let's categorize. I will write here. I am trying to make a table for the name of the physical quantity, name, its symbol, and later on I will talk about the units, but right now I am not talking about units, so I will keep this column blank. Okay, so right now there are total 7 fundamental physical quantities. 7. So these 7 fundamental physical quantities are, the first is length, second is mass, time, temperature, length, mass, time, temperature, electric current, okay, amount of matter, and luminous intensity. These 7. Length, mass, time, temperature, electric current, amount of matter, and luminous intensity. Length is represented by simply L, small l, or sometimes capital L also. Mass is represented by small m, time is represented by T, temperature is represented by capital T. See, time is always represented by small t and temperature is represented by capital T. Electric current is represented by capital I or sometimes small I. Amount of matter is represented by simply mole. And luminous intensity is represented by simply I sometimes, or you can simply write luminous intensity. Luminous intensity, and it is also represented by capital I, but don't worry, you are not going to use this term in future. In future means in this class actually, even in class 10th, you are not going to use this term. So do not get confused about these two symbols. Okay. Now let's talk about we can say different types of unit systems. Derived physical quantities, there are many derived physical quantities which you will learn, you will study during the your class or year or academic year. 4, quantities. Fine. My suggestion is we will go through those physical quantities without memorizing them by learning those physical quantities. Okay. So you do not need to memorize all physical quantities together. You will learn step by step about those physical quantities. First, you need to focus only these 7 fundamental physical quantities and what is the way to study these physical quantities. So we need to understand about the unit systems first. After that, we will be able to write the units here. Okay. So our next point would be the different types of unit systems. Now we have discussed about fundamental physical quantities. To write about their units, we need to go through the different types of unit systems first. Okay, and we need to understand their limitations. So we know about these 7 fundamental physical quantities. Length, again I am repeating, length is represented by L, mass is represented by M, time is represented by small t, temperature is represented by capital T, electric current is represented by capital I or small I sometimes, amount of matter is represented by mole, MOL only. MOL is its unit. Okay, so amount of matter is mole, luminous intensity is can be represented by capital I or simply written as luminous intensity Li. Okay, so let's move to the different types of unit systems and different types of unit systems. There are basic 3 unit systems can be written as, I would like to make a table for it so that it would be easier for you to understand. Unit system, okay, and different physical quantities. So we are talking about length, mass and time. Right now we are using just 3 fundamental physical quantities to categorize these 3 unit systems. There are 3 unit systems. Actually these are French and British unit systems. Means in the earlier age or earlier era of science, these unit systems were being used by different countries and continents. Okay. So there are 3 unit systems: CGS, FPS and MKS. CGS is also known as French unit system, FPS is a British unit system and MKS is called metric system or metric unit system. In CGS, why we call it CGS? Because the length in CGS unit system is measured in centimeters, mass is measured in grams and time is measured in seconds. Okay? In FPS, the length is measured in feet, mass is measured in pound and time is measured in seconds. And MKS, length is measured in meters, mass is measured in kilograms and time is measured in seconds. So these are 3 basic historical unit systems, but there is a problem, there is a limitation with these 3 unit systems. Suppose, let me tell you an example. Suppose a company is having 2 headquarters in different continents. One is lying in suppose in French continent and another is lying in a British continent. Okay, at that time, and the company is manufacturing some kind of a part of a vehicle, and the engineers have designed a new design of that part, and they are creating a table of information, table of measurements of that part, and they are using CGS system for that information, and that information has been posted by the British headquarter, and obviously the education of the engineers of that continent is in FPS system. So they first need to convert CGS information into FPS information. After that they will be able to study about that part also. Okay, so this is the basic problem. It's a kind of complexity which comes with different types of unit systems that we need to convert the information, and I am talking about that era in which computers were not invented at the time. So it was becoming some kind of a problem. Ambiguity was developing with the information. I am not talking about one or two physical quantity. I am talking about information. So basically, to resolve this problem, the Science Council, or we can say the IBWM, just like your chemistry organization, IUPAC, International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. So in the same way, IBWM is called International Bureau of Weights and Measurements. This organization had decided, actually British organization, it was earlier the British organization, now it is called IBWM. So this organization had decided to develop a universal unit system or international unit system. Its name is in French, which is called Système International. Système National the units, okay, which we simply call SI units or SI unit system, which is actually universal. That's why in all our physics books or chemistry books or science or measurement books, we always use SI unit systems to measure our physical quantities. It's a universal, it remains same in the entire world. So the complexity with these three systems will get resolved. Okay, and so obviously these three unit systems are not being used now. We always use SI unit system, and you will find this thing in your physics numerical sheet also. That a particular answer is always given in terms of SI units. So if I talk about SI unit, so in SI unit mass is measured in. Now let's talk about those 7 fundamental physical quantities that I will write their SI units. So I am just numbering those physical quantities, 7 fundamental physical quantities, that those were length, mass, time, temperature, okay, amount of matter, or first you can write electric current even, electric current, amount of matter, and luminous intensity. Luminous intensity is a measurement of what? Luminous intensity is a measurement of brightness of light. Okay, so do not get confused. Luminous intensity is a measurement of brightness of light. Amount of matter is can be measured. You can study about this in chemistry. I hope you had studied about this in chemistry. Avogadro's law, number of particles in 1 mole. Okay. So length is measured in meters. SI unit is meter. Mass SI unit is kilogram. Time SI unit is second. Temperatures SI unit is Kelvin. Capital K, Kelvin. Electric currents SI unit is ampere. Amount of matters SI unit is mole. And luminous intensities SI unit is candela. Simply written as CD. Okay. So these are SI units of fundamental physical quantities, and in upcoming chapters we will study about different types of SI units for different physical quantities, derived and fundamentals also. Okay, so I hope now you have an information about different types of unit systems and the SI unit system also. Fine. Now we have studied about different types of physical quantities and different types of SI unit systems and what is the importance of SI unit system. Let's talk about the scale of these different types of physical quantities. Scales means we can measure length in smaller units, we can measure length in larger units. It depends on the fact or the experiment in which we want to measure the length. Okay, smaller units like millimeter, centimeter, and the symbols of those. So it is important. Actually, this type of table is given already in your book, that bigger units of length and bigger units, or we call them prefix. These prefix can be used for different types of physical quantities. Means prefix will remain same. Only the physical quantity will get changed and its unit will get changed. Let me tell you how. Suppose we are talking about one prefix like milli, okay, which is represented by small m. So milli can be used with different types of physical quantities. Milli can be used with different types of physical quantity. Like milli can be used with mass, milli can be used with length, milli can be used with time. For an example, milli actually is the, if I say standard word is 1 stands for meter, actually for length I am talking about right now, 1, so it is the 1/1000 fraction of a meter. Or you can write it 10 to the power minus 3. So this prefix stands for a numeric value of 10 to the power minus 3. So in that way, mass, for an example, milligram, it should be written as mg. It is pronounced as milligram. Okay? In the same way, length, mm, millimeter. In the same way, if I talk about time, ms, milliseconds. Actually, you are familiar with these three physical units: milligram, millimeter, and milliseconds. ms. So whenever you see ms with a number, means value of a physical quantity with a number 10 ms, means we are talking about 10 milliseconds. If it is written as 1.5 mm, so it means 1.5 millimeter. If it is written as 200 mg, you know about the we can say medicines, it is written as 400 mg, 500 mg, 250 mg. So mg means we are talking about milligrams. So these are called simply prefix. Means these prefix can be used with different types of physical quantities. The smaller prefix and the bigger prefix. Bigger prefix usually are written as in capital letters. Smaller prefix are used as in by writing them in small letters. Like centi. Centi stands for centimeter, centigram, centisecond also. Deca, hecta. In the same way, bigger, giga, represented by capital G. Mega, represented by capital M. Kilo, represented by capital K. Okay, so kilo is the 1000 time of normal 1 unit of a meter. So means kilometer, 1000 meter. So I should write 10 to the power 3 as a prefix. Mega, 10 to the power 6. Giga, 10 to the power 9. 10 to the power 3 every time we will get it placed. So a table is given in the book already about this. We are not going to discuss in depth about this because it is very easy to understand. Okay, so it will be a homework to study about these prefixes. Okay, so let's move to the next thing. I will introduce some important smaller prefix like micro. Micro is represented by a symbol mu. It is pronounced as mu, M-E-W, and it is actually 10 to the power minus 6 fraction of 1, or I can say meter for length. Okay, so 1 micrometer is 10 to the power minus 6 meter. It's these in the same way. Another is nano. 1 nanometer, nm. N stands for nano. 10 to the power minus 9 meter. Okay. In the same way, 1 pico, pm. 1 picometer is 10 to the power minus 12 meter. Another is femtofermi. 1 fm. 1 Fermi meter is 10 to the power minus 15 meter. Up to this small level we can study actually. Fine. In larger units, let's discuss about the larger units of length. Actually, why we are focusing over length? Because the next exercise is something related to measurement of length. Fine. So that's why we are basically focusing on length. So first thing we need to define few SI units. After that, we will be able to study about the different types of measurements. So mass SI unit is actually kilogram. So we are going to define 1 kilogram. In the same way, length SI unit is meter. So we are going to study about 1 meter. In the same way, the time SI unit is second. So we are going to define 1 second. So first thing we need to set some kind of standards so that other scales can be made based on that. No one can imagine by its own choice that what is the definition of 1 meter or what is the definition of 1 kilogram. We need to set a standard so that all scales in the world will be developed by comparing or by taking measurement from these standards. Okay, standards are essential, very essential. Without standard, anyone can define any kind of a scale, and it would vary person to person. So we need to set a standard. So already these standards have been set. Okay, so let's try to define 1 kilogram, 1 meter, and 1 second. Again, I am telling you, your first homework is to define these three definitions which I am going to tell you, and to go through these different types of prefix and their we can say magnitudes. Okay, means values. So let's try to define first 1 meter. This standard length 1 meter. Actually earlier it was designed by IBWN by taking a platinum and iridium alloy, in which 90% is platinum and 10% is iridium. This alloy, they were using this alloy, and the length of this alloy is said to be standard as 1 meter by placing it at 0 degrees Celsius or storing it at 0 degrees Celsius in vacuum. Means this rod is completely unaffected by the surroundings. It has been held in such a way that it is not being affected by any surrounding or atmosphere, so that for a long time its length will remain unchanged. That's why they are using platinum and iridium alloy. Okay, so the length of this standard alloy is said to be 1 meter. This is the standard earlier definition of 1 meter, but now after development in modern physics, they have actually redefined 1 meter. And what is the standard definition now of 1 meter? We are talking about light. Yes, length can be measured in terms of light. It is the non-fastest, we can say fastest movement in the world, light speed. Okay, so they have defined with the help of a laser. Laser is a packet of photon, or we can say light. So they have measured the length 1 meter, and its definition is 1 meter is the distance traveled. 1 meter is the distance traveled by light in 1 upon 299,792. Let me write it properly. 299,792,458. 299,792,458 fraction of a second. Okay, so 1 meter is the distance traveled by light in this fraction of a second. This is the basic definition. Actually, it is some kind of experimental definition. So you are not supposed to go through this in a very depth way, because later on I will explain this by demonstrating a video, something related to this experiment. Okay, so let's say 1 meter is the distance. This is the standard definition of 1 meter. Now let's talk about the standard definition of 1 kilogram. What is the definition of 1 kilogram? The same. By taking an alloy rod of platinum and iridium stored in a, we can say, isolated space, the mass is taken as 1 kilogram of that rod, and further ways were developed from by comparing the blocks with that rod. Okay, that rod is called 1 kilogram rod. Fine. Now let's try to define 1 second, and it will be a homework to define 1 second. That what is 1 second? Actually, it is something related to a radioactive substance, which is a cesium-133. Its mass number cesium-133, and we are talking about the jumping of electrons from one level to another and getting back from one energy level to another energy level. This definition is quite complicated up to from your level, because you don't know about the different energy levels. First, you need to understand about the shells in an atom. Shells are the energy levels in an atom. So we are talking about the vibration of electrons between two different energy levels. The time taken by that electron between two different energy levels for a particular number of vibrations is called 1 second, and that number of vibrations are already written in the book. Okay, so I hope you will go through these three definitions. These are very important for a theoretical purpose. Fine. So let's move to a different further topic, that what are the derived physical quantities. We have discussed it already, derived physical quantity, but right now I am talking about different units or different measurement methods of length. Larger methods means for the larger distance, like distance between the planets, distance between the sun and the earth, we are talking about them. Fine. Now let's try to define some bigger units of length, like astronomical unit, light year, 1 parsec. Okay, so let's try to define first 1 astronomical unit, or it is written as 1 AU. 1 astronomical unit is the average distance between the earth and the sun. It is the average distance between the earth and the sun. You know, earth is not actually orbiting around the sun in a circular path, it is some kind of elliptical path. So we need to find out the average. This average distance, you will study the method of the measurement, but right now we are just talking about its mathematical value. 1 astronomical unit, 1 AU is 1.496 into 10 to the power 11 meter. It is measured as 1.496 into 10 to the power 11 meter. This is the value of 1 astronomical unit. I hope this definition is clear for you. Now let's try to define 1 light year. It is written as simply LY. 1 light year. Sometimes students mistakenly take light year as a unit of time. It is not a unit of time, it is a unit of distance, larger distance. Planetary distance is measured, or star distance between the stars is measured in terms of light years. You must have heard about this word in different science fiction programs or movies, as well as in different types of science series on Discovery Channel or on History Channel. So light year is the distance traveled by light ray, the distance traveled by light in 1 year. It is called a light year. Now the question is, how can we measure this thing? So let me tell you the value of speed of light. Speed of light is basically represented by small c, is approximately 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second. This is the speed of light. You know the speed of light, when the time is 1 year, first you need to convert 1 year into seconds. Okay, so you will have the time t as 1 year, or if you want to convert it into seconds, so 1 year means 365 days, 1 day equivalent to 24 hours, 1 hour is having 3600 seconds. So that would be the time in seconds. We are having speed, we are having time, so we need to find out the distance. Speed equals to distance upon time, so distance is speed into time. After putting the values and after calculating it, you will get the value of 1 light year as 9.46 into 10 to the power 12 kilometers, or if we want to represent it into SI unit, so multiply it by 10 power 3, so you will get 9.46 into 10 power 15 meters. So this is the value of 1 light year, 9.46 into 10 power 15 meters. So I hope these two definitions are very clear for you. Let's talk about the next definition, which is actually parsec. So how can we define a parsec? Now let's try to define next large unit, 1 parsec. 1 parsec, in this unit, 1 par, actually par is derived from a distance measurement method which is used to measure the distance between the planets, okay, which is called parallax method. And sec stands for angle, 1 second angle. It is actually a unit of angle, second, minute, and degree, radian. These are units of plane angle. Plane angle, solid angle are the different. This is a category of physical quantity which is known as supplementary physical quantities. We will discuss about this in the next lecture. Actually, it is not something related in your chapter. You will study that thing in a higher class like 11th. But I will introduce that thing also. So it is a unit of angle, and 1 parsec is the distance when, let's take an actually I will demonstrate it with the help of an example, that Earth revolves around the Sun in an elliptical orbit, not circular, elliptical orbit, and an ellipse is having two axes, major axis and the minor axis. This axis is called the major axis. This axis is called minor axis. So half of this major axis is simply called semi-major axis. So we are just imagining that the Sun is lying on semi-major axis on this point. Actually, Sun does not lie on this. Sun is actually lying on the we can say center of semi-major axis, like at this point or that point. Any one focus of this ellipse, but it's a little bit higher topic. So right now I'm just trying to make it simple. So we are just assuming that the Sun is lying on this intersection point, and the distance between the Earth and the Sun, the average distance is said to be 1 AU. We have defined it already, 1 AU. Okay. So 1 AU, 1 astronomical unit, is the average distance between the Earth and the Sun. So if Earth subtends an angle when it was actually revolving or orbiting around the Sun, Earth subtends an angle of 1 second. It is subtending an angle of 1 second. At that time, the length of this arc is called 1 parsec. Okay, means when the distance between the Sun and Earth is equivalent to 1 AU, and it subtends an angle of 1 second, at that time the arc length of the distance traveled by Earth is of 1 parsec. This is the way to calculate the distance 1 parsec. So how can we calculate it? We know about a small general formula that angle equals to, for we can say arc, for an arc, angle equals to arc upon radius. It's a mathematical formula. Angle is always equivalent to arc upon radius. So here radius is 1 AU and angle is 1 second, and arc we need to find out. So 1 second equals to 1 parsec upon 1 AU, or after solving it you will get the value of 1 parsec after putting the values of 1 second in radians and 1 AU in meters. You will get the value of 1 parsec, which is also written in your book. Okay, so this is the way to define and to measure the 1 parsec. So I hope these bigger units are very clear for you for the length, and your homework is to define, and please prepare your notes. Your homework is to define the standard definition of 1 meter, 1 kilogram, modern and the old also. Okay, 1 kilogram and 1 second. Fine, and that table of prefix for smaller units and for the bigger units, and to define 1 parsec, 1 astronomical unit, 1 light year with their values. So I hope this lecture is very clear for you. In the next lecture we will study about the different techniques to measure the lengths. Small lengths we are talking about by using vernier calipers and screw gauge. Okay, so thank you.